Hi, my name is Simone Mignot and I am a personal and business coach. I help individuals with their personal growth and development while gaining clarity and direction. My approach is focused, God-centered, and very intentional. It's not a quick fix. So if you feel stagnant and you need clarity, please feel free to visit my website, SimoneMignot.com.
Sometimes in life you feel defeated, but it's not over. Hold on, don't give in. You're passing through your testing season. Where is your faith? You gotta win. You gotta win. Oh yeah. Gonna win.
That you understand that you need coaching to be able to live your best life. Own that. My coaching for my life so that I can be the best version of myself.
Good evening and welcome back to Chat with Coach Sim and Friends. It's so nice because I have a big man in the room, so I have to behave myself. I can't go on too hype this evening. So I have to bring out the side of me that's very tapered. Yes. We have Derrick Cotterell on the blue couch this evening, and I know a lot of us know him as a businessman, a successful one. Look upon him and he have money and so. Yeah, look upon the outward appearance of the man. But tonight, that's not what we're looking at because Derrick is in many different spaces. And because we're celebrating men for June, because we have some good men in the world, even though we have some that's not representing, we have some great men and we are going to acknowledge them. My husband's supposed to sit on the blue couch next week. What a thing! But I'm going to focus on the topic this evening that says the weight a man carries. Now, if me don't know nobody will carry no weight, Mr. Cotterell, me don't know how him do it. Him back must be broad and him back no look so broad to me. Cause I look little bit, but he might carry a whole heap of weight pan him back. We're not talking to Derrick only about fatherhood this evening or responsibility, but what it means to him when others see him. Yeah, that's what we're going to talk about. But before we start, I'm going to have a statement. If you know your intent, you can transform your behavior. When you are aware of your purpose, you begin to make room for direction and clarity. Your action starts to align with what truly matters, and over time, your path becomes clear. So, before we go any further, remember, like, subscribe, share, tell a friend that will tell another friend. Please comment. Right? The moderator is in the room this evening because our man, the panel coach, should have a day off to support him. Yes. And she's going to be moderating straight from the studio this evening. And so if you have anything that you want to ask, please feel free to put it in the comment section. Share what you have to say. And welcome, my viewers. Derrick, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. So, my sound decent, Derrick?
Oh, yes. You sound very decent.
You're very decent.
But you normally sound decent.
Oh, all right. See there, if I have one cheerleader in my corner, Mr. Cotterell, most of the time. But Derrick, thank you so much for sitting on the blue couch and talking to us this evening. And we just want to honor you for what you do in this nation. Not just talk about where you do down at Derrimon and Sampars and that. Because the weight where you carry different. Just stand up in other nation, yeah. Even you is not a prime minister, a member of parliament down there. Just stand up in this nation and you do a lot for many persons. And I want to acknowledge you this evening, and I want to tell you thanks, because many persons would not have made it to where they are if you didn't step in. And there, me I talk about long time when you put up people for living in all your house and eat all your food, and then something that me come and say, then how Derrick have this man here living in his house. Let me tell you something. Derrick is one of the most selfless person me ever know. Him and his wife, no, sir, somebody something then we then do. Me say, no, Jesus must be into them. Yes, man. Them know Jesus personally because it has to take Jesus to do those things. But Derrick, I want to talk to you this evening. Not about just you being a father, but before we get into the conversation, how much children you have, like you give birth? Not the one them with your father, you know. The one that Mrs. Cotterell have for you. Because a man have one wife, you know. I'm not with my wife.
Yes,
so,
yes. I have two children.
Two children.
Chelsea and Jonathan. And one granddaughter. So that's the extent of our family.
Yeah.
And I wish I had a few more children, but
Same here.
but that's
It
all right,
never
you
happened.
know?
It never
Yeah,
happened.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
yeah.
But the
I don't
Lord,
think we're happening again. So
yes, yes.
I
But
just
the
have to
Lord gave
adapt
you
a lot,
other
you know?
children, though,
Yeah, man.
Derrick. Oh my
No.
God, Derrick, if you did that, I don't know if you could have managed the house plus, because I don't know what would have happened. But Derrick, what does fatherhood mean to you at this stage of your life?
Oh. Well, at this stage of my life, my children are grown and they're adults, so it is to be their friend, yes, but not just friendship in the normal sense of their peers. I'm still father, and I have to respect their space and their adulthood. But it's to give guidance and to, having walked the road ahead of them, to provide wisdom and guidance and knowledge and support
Yeah.
for what they choose to do. Because one of the things I don't do is to make choices for my children.
Yeah.
I tell them to freely choose what they want to do. Even so, my son went to Wolmer's when he really should have gone to St. George's
Oh,
College.
wow. Here we go.
Right? So
Okay.
that's just to show you how much
To
of a
show you
choice
how much you
I
allow
gave
them to
him, you know?
choose their
Yes.
own life, right?
Right,
Yes,
right,
yes.
right, not sure if I'm still not feeling the effects of that after all these years.
After
but,
so many years.
but he made his choices.
Yes.
And I did say they made their choices, so I've lived with it.
Yes, yes. So that's awesome, Derrick. So it shows the difference between when you just had your children to know that they're adults, that you are in their lives at a different place, and not necessarily trying to control how they grow, how they develop. Yes, you influence, but not control.
Yeah.
And I definitely love that. What has fatherhood taught you over these years? I mean, when you just have your two children, or you have Chelsea and Jonathan, they come a little bit after. But what has fatherhood taught you over the years?
Outside of my spousal relationship with my wife, I think being a father has been probably the most significant
Wow.
relationship and experience I've had.
Wow.
The responsibility of as a father is to take care of human beings that you made the choice of them being here. They didn't choose to come. You, I being father, planted the seed. So I have a responsibility for them to be here.
Right.
And so once I learned that and understood that, I had to look at fatherhood in a completely different way. They are my children, and my wife is my helpmate. So it's not like their children are my wife's responsibility. They were always my responsibility, and my wife would help me with them. And so if you look at it that way, then everything you're responsible for. Not just there was no thing that was for money to do. It was still my responsibility, even breastfeeding. I mean, I couldn't physically breastfeed,
Right.
but You know, once you look at things that way, then you
Yeah.
understand the magnitude of the responsibility of a father.
Wow.
And so, one of the things I learned very early, I tried to grow up my children the way I would have wanted my parents to grow me up.
Yeah.
So I was a very independent-minded person from very early.
Right.
So I encouraged my children to think for
Independent.
themselves.
Yeah.
And the one sin I didn't want to commit was to follow anybody.
Yeah.
I said, if you're going to get into trouble, make sure you're the leader.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear you follow anybody and get into trouble.
Mm.
So if you get into trouble, don't worry. That is here. We'll figure our way out. Doesn't mean that we'll have consequences,
Right.
but we'll figure our way out. That's tell me the
Right.
truth.
Right.
And I'm very happy that, you know, I really didn't have any issues with the children growing them up. I'm very proud of them. They are two wonderful human beings
Yeah.
and exemplary lives. Chelsea's a wonderful young lady.
Yeah.
Jonathan is a wonderful young man. And
Yeah.
I'm very happy and proud of the job that both Monique and I did.
Yeah.
I don't say that boy responsibility, but Monique did a fantastic job with the children also. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes too good a job, she when I don't take a bus.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted them to have that experience to take bus on their own.
She tell us no must thing around here.
I could have, that one with a pass her time, boy.
You never take that one there. She never take the bait.
Them never take JOTC by
Oh,
themselves. You know.
wow.
The one time take JOTC, they was with us.
Yes.
Even me.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. Derrick, you said some very impactful things just now
Yes.
about the role of a father, not just being a sperm donor, but being a father and the responsibility that came with. And I feel like if our men in the nation would understand how important it is for them as a leader, not in the sense of authority. Yeah, we know that men, you know, they're the head of the home, but where they stand when it comes to especially raising children, that they're raising nation, not just children, not just babies that come out of the belly, but that they're going to be adults. And then for you as a father to impact them so they impact their world. And trust me, Derrick, you did an amazing job. I quite agree with you that you and Monique did an amazing job in raising your children. Your relationship with God, Derrick.
Well, before I even get
Yes.
to that,
Yes.
I tend to be empathetic with the men because what I learned, I didn't just get up and learn it one day.
Right.
I was exposed to Bible school, and there was a lesson that Pastor Al taught
Wow.
on fatherhood,
Wow.
and it changed my entire outlook on fatherhood. So,
What was that lesson, Derrick? Do you remember?
well, it's in
what it
Bible
was?
school. It's essential what I said, that you are responsible for everything. There's no woman role or mother role and husband role.
Say that
or
again
father
for me,
role.
DC.
Everything is the responsibility of the
man.
father.
Yes.
And then
No
the
role
wife
for the
being-
woman, no dead.
No, no. It is all your responsibility as a husband and as a father. And the mother or the wife plays a role as a helpmate. Right? So if you look at it that you have the full responsibility, it's a completely different way of looking at it. And it's just that, unfortunately, the majority of men don't really
Wow.
understand it that way. So they can't act accordingly. So, for example, you'll hear that this is a lot of men don't get into the child's life when you're when you're infant and fledgling, because they don't think they have a role there.
Yeah.
And they're so wrong. That's
So
why you need to
wrong.
start to bond with that child.
Yeah.
Even from the child is in the womb, you need to
Yeah.
start to bond with the
Yeah.
child.
Yeah.
And so it's really a question of knowledge. And I think if we were to begin to teach that word better and make more men be exposed to it, you will get
Teach the word better.
fathers, and people that understand their responsibilities, and they'll step up more. So the lament is really the lack of knowledge, as opposed to the will, because I found that a lot of men, especially those who grew without fathers,
Right.
want to be better fathers. They just
Right.
don't know how
How
to be,
to do
and what
it.
is the responsibility and how to do it.
Right.
And so that's something I like to do as I get into the latter stages of my
Right.
life.
Yes, the philanthropic part of it. You'd love
To begin to influence that
yes.
part of the Jamaican culture, especially.
Yes.
And that's something I think I need to challenge myself to.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
get to do, you
I
know?
think so too. I think it's
Yeah.
something that you really should take a closer look at, because as you say, a lot of men don't know how. Some men don't want to know.
Yeah.
But you do have some who don't know how because they weren't raised in a
Yeah.
home where a father was. And so they come and they see the mother doing X, Y, Z. When they get a woman, they believe that that's exactly what the woman's supposed to do. So they have roles.
Yeah.
So I recently spoke to somebody and I told them there's no role. It's a confusing issue because we have normalized what systematically was introduced to us by a fallen world.
Right.
But that's not what it's supposed
Yeah,
to
because I mean, traditionally men would go out and get a career, and child rearing was left for the
mother.
female and the mother, and that's not quite how it should be, you know. Whether it's a boy or a girl, because you know, fathers do have a different kind of influence, different from boys, different from girls,
Right.
and a lot of the acting out and the deficiencies you see in adults is out of this
the trauma.
this
The lack.
whether trauma or the lack of the correct kind of relationship with their father,
It's true.
right? And it manifests itself when they're
So
adults,
true.
you know. So happily for me, I was
So true.
exposed at an early stage,
Yeah.
and while I'm not perfect, I tried my best to have been the father that I would have wanted my father to have been, and he was a good father.
Right.
But again, he was limited as to what his knowledge of fatherhood was.
Right.
So he could only be his primary thing was that of provider,
Right.
which is very important.
Which is very important.
But it's not the only thing.
But it's not
and
the
so
only
the
thing.
vast majority of
Yeah.
men believe that the role of provider is the main role and sometimes the sole role of the father. And that is where the
disconnect.
disconnect
comes,
is and
yeah.
the deficiency
And
is.
the deficiency,
And that's we
yeah.
need to fix that really. You know?
Yeah, that's
Provider,
true.
of course, but it's
Yeah,
a lot more.
but
than
that's
that,
not
you know?
only
Yeah, that's just
the
like
reason.
the entry point.
The entry point.
Yeah.
I love that. So guys at home, I hope you're calling your men, you know, for the girl them one if we not have no man. It's a nice little lesson there now I teach up on the coach. So me I tell you for call on a man. Yes? And make them listen to Mr. Cotterell because he has lots to pour in to them. Because as he said, providing is not the role, it's the entry point. But we got it confused. I think we got it confused from down in the slavery days still, but nonetheless, we got it confused and we can do better if we are sharing the knowledge and the information. So you said something about Bible school, and that was the next question I
yes.
wanted to talk to you about, your relationship with God and how that impacted your, your experience with your children.
Well, yes. Well, happily, I was a Christian for most of my children's life. Well, all of Jonathan's life, and certainly for all but 2 years of Chelsea's life, because Monica and I got saved in 98, and she was born in 96. So for most of her life, she would have known us as Christians. And doesn't mean as Christians you don't have challenges. We have our challenges ourselves, and sometimes you're not quite as hot as you want to be as a Christian. Sometimes you're a little bit lukewarm.
It's a process. It's
Yeah,
a process.
but
It's a
you know,
process. It's a process.
You get to understand as you grow in faith
Yes.
that God is always there, as you are the one that is moving.
Yes.
But in terms of growing my children, that was not a particularly difficult thing to do in terms of the Christian way.
Yeah.
We have always been a part of church. I grew up in church. They're accustomed to church.
Yeah.
But they have to find their own way.
Yeah.
You can't force them, you know what I mean? And I was never very judgmental. I allowed them to go their path, but you know that once the foundation is there,
Yeah.
you don't have to worry. They are going to come back to the Lord even
To
if they
the
drift a
Lo-
little
oh,
bit,
glory.
to go and learn and experiment and whatever.
Hallelujah.
It's a part of life,
a
and you have to just
part
accept
of
it and not be
life.
judgmental.
Yes.
You have to just continue to work with the children and love
Yes.
upon them
Oh,
and
Lord.
help them to build their own relationship with Christ.
Wow.
So, but the question is about my relationship.
Yes.
So
Let the church say amen about that part there. And people them have them own experience. Not judge them.
Yes.
Remember, you were a child.
Yes.
You made your own mistakes. You fell down enough time. Tell lie, thief, and do all sort of things. So take time with the children when they see them, and they are living in a totally different era than you lived, and so they have different experiences. So do not judge our children. Thank you for that, Deacon.
Yes. Well, my walk with Christ has been really fantastic. I've managed to, well, I share with people. There was a time when I was going to both Saturday church and Sunday church, because I was saved at Felta, but was nurtured as a Seventh-day Adventist.
Yeah.
But it was God in His own wisdom, because sometimes you get saved in a big church, you can get lost.
Yeah.
But Monica and I were nurtured in the Seventh-day Adventist church by a gentleman by the name of Carl Aldridge,
Whoa.
who would spend the time on explain the word, and would spend time in the word, and
Whoa.
the seven-day experience was really wonderful.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because the Lord had put me in a state that I was not wearing jewelry. I still don't wear jewelry or wear a watch. I don't wear chain, or I don't even wear my wedding ring.
Yeah.
I've not worn chains and bracelets from 1998. I've not owned or worn a chain or a bracelet, and I'm not interested in them.
Mm-hmm.
I have no problem with it. It's just that I'm just not interested in jewelry per se. So I wear watches. That's about it.
Right.
And so that was one impediment that was moved from me. At the time, I was not eating meat. I can't imagine why I wasn't, because I really like meat.
No,
but
we
for that
all.
period of time, I was not eating meat at all. So
Yeah.
there was no issue with eating pork
Right.
or shrimp or all the other stuff that Seventh-day Adventists are not supposed to eat. So God had just kind of put me in a place that I would not have anything to give up to be a Seventh-day Adventist. I really gave up nothing. Because
Right.
whatever it is that I was to have conformed to or to give up was already, I was in that space.
Space already.
So, you know, I was there for about 2 years, and
Yeah.
I served there and both at Feltab. But when I had to make a choice as where to serve the Lord, clearly showed me that I should be at Feltab. And both Monica and I decided to serve at Feltab. And the nurturing I've gotten from Pastor Al and other leaders in the church, but primarily Pastor Al, because we had a thing called TAM, which is a kind of discipleship thing. It was held every Friday night, and that was really, that's the kind of groundwork you need as a Christian, to be practical and understand the life of Christ, and to be discipled under Pastor Al was a tremendous thing.
Yeah.
And I think I'm a better person for that.
Yeah.
Not perfect. I can't tell you say I'm a perfect person, but I can't say I don't know.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
if I stray away from the right thing,
Yes.
it's
Not because you
I
don't know. Yes.
You know, and life is
Right.
about choices. So
Right. Right.
I was really nurtured, and a lot of the worldview I have came out of that nurturing and my experience primarily at Feltab.
At Feltab. Yeah.
At very, very early, I was given the task to serve. First as an usher, and then later as a deacon. And then you will understand the role as Christians, that we are here to serve,
Right.
not to be served,
Right.
but to serve. And once you
Right.
understand service
Yeah.
and be a service to the people,
Right.
then you will understand the life of Christ, because
Right.
He came and He served us.
Yeah.
He gave the ultimate sacrifice, which is His entire life,
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah.
You know, though we don't deserve it.
Right.
But once you develop that attitude to serve,
Yeah.
then you will find that you will grow
Yeah.
better.
Yeah.
Because your topic about the weight of, you haven't gone into it yet,
Yeah.
but you know, the weight is not necessarily a burden.
a bird. No, it's not.
It is mindset. You know, for some people the weight is a burden. For some people the weight is just to make you grow in spirit and in character.
That is it. It's a developer.
So just like how you lift weights to build your muscles,
Right.
and I've been lifting some weights to build my
Right.
muscles.
Yeah.
I do so also have the spiritual weight that is on men, generally speaking, and
Right.
fathers.
Right. Yes.
And as leaders
Yes.
in the church, I do carry that weight, but I don't carry it as a burden.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
carry it as a weight to strengthen me in character and in spirit.
Yeah, yeah. That beautifully said. Just having your relationship and knowing that you started that relationship earlier on in your life, so you were able to pass on most of what you learned through this relationship with Christ to your children. That also made you a better human being, just listening to what you're saying. So it's not just about you, being a Christian, which we focus on a lot of times, that, we're Christians and we go to church, basically that's what we do. We become church goers, but we never develop in character. For some reason, we kind of think that Christianity is some trophy where you wear around your neck just for people to say, yeah, man, I'm saved. But then there is no developing coming from the relationship with God. And just listening to you saying that relationship is what helped to mold you based on, how you serve. And I kind of wanted to chip in there, Derrick, because I was thinking about something recently. And I said, a lot of what we do, that I've seen we do as people, even as people of God, is try to outdo each other in the wrong things. You understand? And when I say in the wrong things, there is something in us that makes us feel like we have to do better than somebody else to feel. I'm not sure what it is. I'm still trying to find out.
It's pride.
Yes.
So once you get into competition and you want to be better than the
And you
other
want
person, and
to
you want
look
outdo
better and to
look better,
outdo
that's
the
just pride.
person. Right.
That's
It's
just
pride.
and that's the opposite of love, actually.
Right.
Right. So one of the key scriptures that every Christian should really meditate on and to spend some time in is Romans 12. And Romans 12:2 say, do not conform, but be transformed through the renewing of your mind. And in a nutshell, this is to renew your mind from the Adamic nature, which is a self-centered, selfish nature, to one that is Christ-centered, which put others first
Jesus.
and you second.
My God.
No, that is not that we're born with. We don't born with that nature. That's why you have to be transformed
into the image.
into the image of Christ through the renewing of your mind.
An
And that's
intentional
really
act.
what our journey on this earth is about.
That
the
is it.
transformation from the natural, selfish, prideful, Adamic nature into a Christ-like thinking. And we are all at different parts of that spectrum in different areas, and we have to respect where each person is, but we have a responsibility.
We have a responsibility
with the person you have the control over, which
is you,
to ensure that you are moving consistently from the self to others,
right?
From pride to love,
right?
And so, if we do something to invoke a spirit of, or to get praise from you,
right,
then it is done in the wrong
it's
spirit.
the wrong spirit.
It is done with pride to get accolades from man.
Or to feel good that
Or
you
to
know
feel
how
good.
to do
Yes.
that better.
Oh, I feel so good.
Yeah, I can.
I did this and I did that and I've given that.
Yes, I know
the
how
truth
to
is,
do
you
it.
must even remember what you give.
Right.
Right?
Or I point out that
Yes.
I may have a little bit more information and knowledge because I've been schooled at a higher level than you. And so what you do, you tend to be looking down. And I see it right across the board in ministry. You tend to be looking down. But what came out of what Deacon just said is that his relationship was about service.
Yes.
So the only reason why we exist is to serve. Yes. So if we are not moving, as he says, from that Adamic nature to the nature where we serve, which means it's others first and me second, then we have missed it totally. So Simone come here and she should have said but she said bo. You don't need to point out someone flaw. That not going to do nothing for you. You know, don't go show say you have a little insecurity with you where you have to point out somebody. But I find that is what we do as brothers and sisters. And so the serving part of it, which I'm going to make you better in serving, that's not where we focus on. We focus on making sure that you know that you're not there and something is wrong with you. But I know it, so I'm going to. And that was I just wanted to put it there because Deacon said that he served and that is what his focus was. So as people of God and as Nation Church, 'cause we call Felltab name, so that we're Fellowship Tabernacle people, we're about serving the people.
Yes, that's whether you're Fellowship Tabernacle or you belong to any other
Denomination,
church
Catholic or whatever.
That is what Christianity is about. You're supposed to be served. The truth is, I met one of the brothers of the poor. We were in New York and we were in the immigration line together. And I said to him, boy, you know, if I could swap life with you, I'd actually swap my life for your life. Except that I want my family. That's about the only thing I want to keep. I said, why? I said, because your life is simple. Your job is just to serve. You don't own anything. They don't even own the clothes on their back. Right? They own nothing. Their job is just to serve people. They don't have to worry about earning money. They don't have to worry about brand name. Because these priests, these brothers are the poor, wear nothing that is brand. Right? There's nothing is branded. They just come and serve the people. What a wonderful, simple life to live. And if I was to say, boy, if I was to live my life over, I think from I probably reach 35, 40, and I want to have like a full-time ministry and just serve the people.
Yeah.
Right?
Go to Africa.
Let's no, see right here in Jamaica, there's so much to share. And I mean, ministry, yes, you want to bring people to Christ, no question. That is what our mission is. But not
it's more than that.
Not in a way that I just going out there and preach the word, but
to live the word,
and to teach.
Yes. Practical,
how to
basic stuff.
How to live, how to move from the Adamic nature to the Christ nature.
That is it.
You know, because that is what is going to be sustainable in the end.
That's it.
You know, because you'll find that, you know, oftentimes you have these crusades and you know, the crusades will go up and the same people go up for to give their life to Christ every crusade. So you have to remind them that you did it last week. You know?
But because we
you
don't
see them already,
teach
you know, but
them,
you know, they don't get the nurturing, they don't get the teaching,
right?
You know? Or when I became a Christian, I remember a good friend of mine tell me, say, but you're not ready. Oh, you go in, you're not ready for that yet. Me say, you know, I'm not ready. Why am I going?
Exactly. Because you can't make yourself ready.
If I'm going to wait till I get clean, I don't think I'll ever go.
We're not ready at all. Why? I'm telling you.
So, you know, what miss the point? We feel you have to clean up to go into Christ.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
You know?
Jackie,
you have to get well before you go to the hospital, you know?
Yeah, you have to get well before you go. Derrick, that is absolute. You see visually how that's seen, and you get a picture. Yeah, you get a picture of just where we go wrong, even as a people trying to bring people in the fourfold. You know, we're trying to tell them what to do, but we never show them how. And that's the thing about religion.
One of the quotes that always stay with me, I don't quote it exactly, but
yes,
Saint Francis of Assisi, it's attributed to him that he said, preach the gospel, preach it well, and if it's necessary, use words. You know? So, very profound.
Very profound. Very profound. We're talking about your relationship, how you show up as a man of God to your children. So now I want to kind of switch it from what does that mean for you to father people who are not your biological children.
Oh, that's not difficult.
They look to you for wisdom. They look to you for example. This is what I talk about when I say the weight that you carry. Because it's not just your children, because sometimes I look to you too. As a father. In the spirit. Because I remember years ago I was going through a little challenge, you know. Now I will tell you now I kind of fast, but I'm not going to know what. It's a private thing. I didn't want to tell everybody what it was, but I was going through some issues. And I remember it was very late one night, and I called Derrick. It was Derrick first I called. And them people, them drive from Portmore, come up on our Red Hills, come sit down in our living room. So when I said the weight that this man carry, I'm not just talking about him going to work and having the different businesses and he's so successful, because sometimes we're frightened for things. But I know the things me I talk about right now is the influence impact he has on the life that he comes in contact with, because I will never forget that time. I said, Patrick, then drive all the way from Portmore. That time Monique was asleep, you know. I said, Monique now say a word, Derrick wanna talk, and he might give a look at things like daddy. And me I listen to him, and Patrick I listen to him like daddy, and he might help we go through some good stuff, you know. On a year now. And so, but Monique was there and she was very silent. But the point I'm trying to make is that Derrick is not just driving from Portmore for me. He's going to drive to go anywhere that he's needed to help. That's what it looks like to serve. So Derrick, what does it mean to father the people them?
Well, to me, it's not a particular difficult thing because it's how you look at people. You know? I don't see myself better than anybody else. Right?
Wow. Wow.
I'm just an ordinary man that is living a life and will die one day. Right? So I don't see myself as special. I'm an ordinary human being. Right?
Wow.
Whatever is that the Lord has put in me is my responsibility to share, and so I leave the world empty. Right? So whether it's the guys at the traffic light, I wind on my wind and I have a proper conversation with them, as short as it is, and if I can give them a word of encouragement, which sometimes is more important than the money. Right? If I have the money, I'll give them. I don't have a problem with that. The part in the scripture says, give to everybody who ask. I think it's in Matthew somewhere there.
Yeah.
But it's not so much the money, you know. It's the respect that you give to that guy at the traffic light. The time you spent with that little child who don't have anybody have a good thing to say about them. But you take the time out and just call them and just have a little reason with them, you know, and encourage them. Because I know there are people who have bad ways, but I don't think there's inherently bad people. And I may be naive, but that is also how I think of people. I think people will have bad ways and bad experiences, but I don't think they're inherently bad people. So I don't start off from that standpoint that is a bad person. I start off that I need to find a way. I look for the good in people.
Yeah.
Right? God has put that in me. I won't take any credit for that. God has put that in me from a very early age.
Yeah.
That I look for the good in people. So
Yeah.
it's not difficult for me to relate to people and to you know, one of the things that at Derriman that we did from very early, we have some parts. Mr. Richards was the father for the people over by Majestic Garden. I don't call it by the other name.
Yes.
And we came there and began to play a role. And I told them very early, said, you know, I will deal with the school part, but you see the funeral part, leave me out of that one. Right? I have to choose.
You have
If I have to
choose
choose
something. You have to choose it.
something. Say, now come to me with the school voucher. Don't come to me with the funeral.
With the funeral part, yeah.
Part, right?
Yeah.
And I will always yield to give a child an opportunity for education.
Yeah, yeah.
So a lot of what we do at some parts and at Derriman is to help in education.
Yeah.
But that is not sufficient, because if you don't, sometimes just a quiet word to a child or to another human being, you'll be surprised what that means to them.
Yeah.
That you take the time out to listen to them.
Right.
You take the time out to hear them out.
Right.
You take the time out to even just acknowledge them.
Right.
Just to acknowledge them.
Right.
There's oftentimes I go to the traffic light and the 5-6 other guys come and I went on all my windows. And have a conversation with them. It's just for a minute or two because it's a traffic light. But it's just a word of encouragement sometimes. And I'd say, you know, guys, you know, this isn't a work. Treat it as a profession, you know. Be respectful to the people, you know what I mean? You know, grooming is proper, you know. Don't come out here barefooted.
Right.
Just to encourage them, you know what I mean?
Right.
So no matter who, I don't see myself better than anybody.
Not anybody.
Right? I don't look at anybody better than anybody. We are all human beings.
Nobody no more
We're
than
all
nobody.
born in the image of Christ.
All of us.
And if we look at every individual that way, we'll have less issues
True.
in how we
It is
serve.
true. That is true.
Right?
That is true.
So
Yeah.
that's one of the burdens I never had from her, and I've
Yeah.
thanked the Lord for that. It just
Yeah.
kind of put that in the bird.
Right. To support people no matter what.
Yeah.
And as I see Sharon says something here where she say, true friendship, because driving all the way, solid support, you know, driving all the way from Portmore to come.
I never come in like nothing. A friend in need is a friend indeed.
You see what I say?
That
No
no.
people
Let
that
a
say,
man
but
take
at
up
what
it will be a
time
problem.
now? No, sir, this at 1 o'clock. Me tired. Tomorrow me deal with them. Them can't go through it tonight. But you saw it fit. And one thing I remembered, guys, is that before Derrick offered what he needed to say, he listened. And I remember I was ranting. I rant and I go on with one piece of excitement. Yeah. Me say, hey, me tell you how drama happen them. And he listened and listened and listened. And when I was finished, then he responded. And that, to me, that was so important because I felt now that somebody was literally hearing what I was saying and not necessarily just dismissing me as being miserable and loud or whatever the case may be. Because I know we stay with one another because we not same. You judge up people because me, go on the same way. You start to look down upon me or me I look down upon you. And, it's for those people who don't know any better. But let it be said that as people of God, we don't do that. We are the examples that the world looks at and they see that we are living this life out properly in front of them and they say, I want to be like that because how them are living in harmony and unity. We don't have to agree. We don't have to like one another. But we have to love each other because that is what the Lord says. Now, how do you carry the responsibility, Derrick? Because some people wicked, Derrick now go say them wicked. Some me will say it. Some people wicked, Some people lie. Some people thief. Some people do all manner of evil to Mr. Cotterell. Yes, man, I'm friend, man, and me I back him up, man. So me know upon me knee, me pray, me see them in his spirit. But me want to know how you carry that responsibility without becoming hard and disconnected. When you see the wickedness and the hardness, how you do that, Mr. Cotterell?
Well, I tell you already, I look for the good in people. I don't think people inherently are bad.
Jesus.
And like I said, a lot of people will laugh at me and say I'm naive, but that's just my worldview. I think that there is good in everybody, and I look for the good in somebody. I'll be honest with you. I remember I was doing a particular business deal with a gentleman, and he was not being nice. In fact, he was being rather unfair. But I remember that man doing a good for me years before, and that is what I focused on.
Oh, wow.
I totally disregarded all of the stuff he was doing in the present, and I just remember that he did something good for me in the past.
Wow.
And that's what I focused on.
Oh, wow.
I know life is funny because life turn around now, and I see that gentleman come back to me, and him apologize for what happened, and things just kind of turn around. Sometimes I have to just be patient, because you don't know what how life will turn out, you know what I mean? So, and I don't see myself as a victim, I've never ever looked at myself as a victim.
That's powerful.
I don't have a victim thing. A lot of Christians feel like victims.
Yeah, true.
I don't know you can be a
We're
Christian
victors.
a
You
victim,
can be victim.
Yeah, so I never ever look at
Very
myself as a
powerful.
victim.
Oh,
So,
wow.
and if God allows something to happen to me, it means that I need to learn something from it.
Mighty God,
And I try to focus on what I
Jesus.
need to learn on it.
Ooh.
And I know I sound kind of strange when people say that. And I'm not telling you I'm perfect. I'm a human being and I'm emotional too.
Wow.
But when things quiet down, I can quickly find the center and remember that you're going through this or you have been through this because God wants you to learn something. It is there to strengthen you.
Yeah.
And the quicker you can accept that, then you can move forward.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
It's not easy all the time, but it's the truth.
Yeah.
Romans 8:28 is one of my anchor scriptures. All things, not some things. All things, even the bad that people do to
Even
you.
the bad.
And I mean, what makes me so
Work
special that people not
together.
going to do bad to me?
Right.
Them crucify Jesus Christ.
Oh, yes.
Nobody not crucify me
Yeah.
yet. Hopefully not.
Hopefully not.
I mean, probably them crucify me behind my back,
Them
but
crucify you, Derrick.
but that don't really bother me. Not really bother
But
me.
it is what it is.
It is what it is.
It's
If
a
Christ
part
can go
of,
through that,
Yeah,
and not even for himself,
It's a part of the
for other people.
territory in which you signed up for. Because we sign up for it. So we're going to get the same thing when Jesus have to go through. We have to get it as people of God. And then it's not just the fact that we're going to be crucified or we're going to be dealt with crudely, but it's how we respond
It's
that's
always
going to matter.
exactly. It is.
So situations come. It's not about what's been done to you. It's not about what's been done to Sim. Sim, how are you responding to this? When Mel says something to me, or Chelsea says something, or Monique, or something I'm not like, I'm skin up my face on people. It's not speaking about what was done to me. It is actually showing what's inside of me that needs to be dealt with.
It says never about the other person, it's always
Never
about you.
about the other
I remember the scripture says that if your brother ought against you, right, you need to go and make it right with him.
Make it
So
right
it's him
with
do
him.
something wrong to you,
Now you must go make it right.
and you have the responsibility to go and make it right with him before you come and
Leave
put
your
your
gift
stuff
at
at the
the
altar.
altar.
Right? So, you know, the Lord kind of make it very simple, but we don't want to, again, because of pride, right? Because that is really the biggest enemy to Christians,
It is.
pride.
It is. It is.
And once we begin to let go of the pride,
Yeah.
let go of the self, as
Yeah.
we put it,
Yeah.
and begin to love others, then we'll find our lives a lot simpler.
It is.
You know, that's
A
really
little peace,
very
more
easy.
peaceful, and it's
Yeah.
easier.
Yeah,
And there's something about it that makes the difference in walking from the life that you knew when you had to fight everything and defend everything and oppose everything and just to be. It's all right. Let it be. It will work out in the end. Is that's really powerful. Derek, earlier we spoke about men and what's missing from Jamaican men, and is a lack of what it is they need to be able to help them. We talk about it a little, but I want you to delve in it some more. As you are on the streets, when I say on the streets, you have a youth staff. So you interact with different people from different places and in the background.
Yeah.
And so when you see a young man who is lacking, what's one specific thing that you think men lack in our society that makes them not come out as, real confident men who takes care of their family?
All right, the simple answer will be character, but I want to go deeper than that because you see the way we're socialized to begin with. We're socialized to have enough woman and to try to get a woman pregnant at the earliest possible time to prove that you're not a guinea. That's one of the nice terms that we use in Jamaica. And that level of socialization and that quality of socialization is destructive.
Yeah.
We have to start to get into the youngsters' head and let them understand there's a lot more to life than us having children or having a pile of women. The truth is, it's not just the men, because a lot of women believe that they must have a child from very early.
Yep.
And so you'll find that probably the majority of Jamaican women, they'll have a child very early, and then they'll have a skip, the fortunate ones, and then they'll get into real life and then begin to have a family and settle down.
Yeah.
That's a pattern in a lot of young women. They'll have a child in their late teens or very early 20s, and that has been one of the challenges that we have, because if you begin to have children and are settled, it can be challenging. Now, let me be very clear: every child is a blessing,
Everyone.
and not most. Unfortunately, most children are not planned.
One of
So I'm
them.
not saying, I'm not even going to call the child a mistake.
Everyone of
I'll
them.
just say that we need to just probably plan our lives better and to socialize better. So the biggest problem we have with the society generally is the way we're socialized. We're socialized to have to not have serious relationships, to not be faithful to one person, to have a bag of women, and to try to have
Yeah.
baby mothers all over the place. I must say there is in this, I noticed something, and I don't know if it is the class of if it is a class thing or it's just this new breed of young people, but they are not as sex driven as when I was a teenager. I find that a lot of these teenagers now and young adults are not so driven to be having relationships.
Or they're a little
Or
wiser.
so early. Well, I'm not sure it's wisdom. I think it is more. There's something happening because it's happening in the States too. I mean, a lot of young men are just not interested in having relationships very early, or even having relationships at all.
You're probably right, because
You
I
know?
was speaking to someone that's very close to me, and I asked him, "When are you getting married?" And he says, "Well, I'm not sure. You see the world? Do you see what's happening in it? I'm not sure. I even want to bring a child in the world." And I was like, "Whoa, that kind of did break my heart still." But
Yeah,
Yeah,
the youngsters now are
yeah.
thinking, the generation, what will we reach now? Sometimes
Z?
I miss it,
Z.
Z or whatever, yeah,
Z, I
Gen
think
Z.
we Gen
They
Zs.
think completely
Mhm.
different from us.
Yes.
Right?
Mhm.
They think completely different from us.
Mhm.
And so, when we were growing up on our hormones and we were, young, late teens and early 20s, we were a lot more, our minds were a lot more on sex and the opposite sex and all that than a lot of these youngsters. So, I'm not saying it's a good or bad thing, I'm just saying it's a different thing.
It's different.
You know?
I don't think it's not that they're not, because I think that they have more to deal with in terms of their exposure, but they are not thinking about, in that way where probably we were. I think it's because they were exposed. I think for us, mother kind of did hide it, father kind of hide it, so you feel like you have to go feet, so it make it a little bit more testier because you didn't know what it was. So you were, like, oh, well, go on, let me go investigate. But they don't have to investigate anything because everything is at the tip of their fingers.
That's true.
So
But whatever the
it's-
reason is, it's a little different.
It's a
and
little
there
different.
are lots of studies around, and that will give different reasons for. But I'm just noting it, that,
Yes,
things
yeah.
are, we have to just note in this age, it's kind of a little bit different.
It's a different, yeah. Derrick, a man who is at home and he's providing for his family, but he's not emotionally there. What advice would you give
Okay, I see what you're
that
saying.
man?
That can be tough because the world showed things at us. And my first point is to be empathetic because you really need to understand a person before you can begin to give advice. So it is the why, why is this person there?
Yeah.
And it could be a myriad of reasons, Life kind of shows some things at you sometimes.
Yeah.
And again, sometimes it's socialization. Sometimes it is how his father was in his house.
Yeah.
And so that's how he learned how a father should
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
And that's how he is. So, it could be caused from different reasons.
Yeah.
And so it's to get into that individual situation, try to understand what the challenges are, what the mindset is, what the thinking is. And from a point of understanding, to try to bring some other kind of wisdom and truth to it. Just a different perspective
Right.
sometimes.
Right.
So what if you were to look at it this way
Right,
or
right.
another way?
Right.
Because sometimes it's just different perspectives.
Right.
And you have to respect where the person is.
Right.
Rather than say, boy, you're wrong, you're crazy.
Right.
I tend to be a little bit more empathetic and understand because
Right.
all of us were grown up in different
In
circumstances.
different ways. I'm not sure what
and
persons
so-
are exposed
exactly,
to. Yeah, that's
you
true.
know, And we all carry scars from of our respective relationships
Yeah.
and our respective experiences through life.
Mm.
And that is going to, in lots of ways, influence our worldview and our actions.
Right. That's powerful. So before you even start to talk to the emotional, we call it dysfunctionality because they're not emotionally available. You would want to know why,
Yeah, you have to understand.
because you can't just give a prescription and tell us if you go feel it.
Exactly.
I mean, I know what really wrong with you, or
Exactly,
you
you know.
get here.
Exactly.
What caused you to come to this place.
You
So
have
it's
to-
really to understand.
Yes, you have
instead
to
of
understand a problem before
Yeah.
you start to try to solve it.
solve the problem,
Because it could be
because
going the complete wrong way. you know.
yeah, and it's about what they might have been exposed to
It could be that.
would have positioned them to think this way. Most times it is.
Yeah, it could be something in the present, it could be something in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It could just be a mindset.
Mm-hmm.
It could be so many things. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
So before you begin to tackle the problem, you need to try to understand it.
yeah. If a young man came to you today and he said, "I'm having some issues with how I deal with my children and I need some advice from you," what would you tell him?
Well, again, I can start with, I'll try to understand what's the challenges he's having,
Mm-hmm.
understand where he's coming from,
Mm-hmm.
ask him a little bit about his own background,
Mm-hmm.
and try to understand. Because if you can, how I look at things, if I can begin to see things through your eyes
Mm-hmm.
and be empathetic, then I can
Mhm.
begin to, once I begin to understand, I
Mhm.
can begin to show you a different perspective
Mm-hmm.
and try to open your mind to a different way of thinking.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's how I approach a lot of these
Mhm.
things, and I try
Mhm.
to see where you're at,
Mm-hmm.
how you got there,
Mm-hmm.
and if I can understand, take the
Mhm.
time to understand
Mhm.
where you're at and how you get there,
Mhm.
I can begin to give you some snippets and some suggestions. Because one of the things we must understand now, the only person who can change you, is you,
I see. Right.
right? And you have to want to change.
And I have to want it.
So I can preach to you till
Paul and John
know,
and Tom, everybody now.
till the cows come home. If you
Yes.
don't want to change it, you're not going to change.
I'm not gonna change.
And if you're going to try to influence people
Mm-hmm.
to change,
Yeah.
you know, as I say, influence them to change, you have
yes.
to meet them where they are at.
Meet them where they're at.
Because you don't want to come over as being judgmental. You don't want to come over as being overly knowledgeable. You don't want to
Right.
come over as being overly righteous.
Yeah.
You want to come over that I understand where you're at.
Yeah.
I really understand where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you're wrong.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just saying you may want to look at it a different way.
Yeah.
You know,
Mhm.
I'm giving you the opportunity to look at things a different way,
Yeah.
and
yeah.
you may choose to, or you may choose not
yeah.
to.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's
Why is
your
it
choice.
important though
Yeah.
for a man to have a good relationship with his children?
Of course, I mean, I don't think most men want to,
Yeah.
but sometimes they don't know how.
Yeah. But why is it important?
Well, I go back to the root of things again. The father has the responsibility for that child. And the truth of the matter, even when a child become an adult, and you may not have some responsibilities, you carry even a spiritual responsibility for that child. So as a father, you have to be praying for your children, even when they're 100 and you're 120.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need to carry that spiritual responsibility for your children.
Mm-hmm.
You need to even though they're adults and you're adults, you need to be living your life in an exemplary way,
Mhm.
because no matter how you take it, they still look up to you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So you have those responsibilities along with others. You may not be providing because you're an adult now. That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. Providing for your children is like, that's an entry point. That is like you turn up for work, you don't start work yet.
Mhm.
That's nothing, you know. You just turn
Yeah.
up for work.
That's
You don't start
nothing.
work yet. The emotional attachment that you spoke about earlier is built through relationship and
Mhm.
trust,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Sometimes and sometimes I'll be honest with you, some children are difficult,
Yeah.
right? But you have to understand it's your child
Yeah.
and be empathetic and try to understand. Not every child is going to be easy.
It's going to be easy. Yeah.
You know, sometimes I mean we are fortunate, Monica and I are fortunate. We never really have a lot of the challenges
Right.
a lot of other parents have, but I have to be empathetic to those
Yeah.
parents who would have had those challenges.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
And not because I never particularly experienced it, but I
Mhm.
don't want to open my eyes and listen and try to spend a few moments in their shoes.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you that I know that some children can be very difficult.
Yeah.
Very, very. No matter how good the parent is.
No matter how
you
good
can
the
have some
children.
very difficult children, but
Mhm.
you have to be patient and be there for them.
Yeah, that's
Right.
it. That's it. So, Derrick, you have that camera over there, and I want you to kind of look into it and just encourage our men, encourage our fathers, their leaders. I want you to call a man higher. Somebody may share it with them son, may share it with husband, uncle, friend, and he might just want a word, just one word of encouragement that will move him from where he is to a more active place in his mind. And as you said, perspective shifting. So that's your camera. You speak in it and just encourage our
Well,
men.
To me, the easiest word I'd want to give to every father to his child or his children is to love them. Love them like how Jesus
Love
tell
little
us, teach us how to love. Right? In 1 Corinthians 13. Right? So love is patient.
Yeah.
Love is kind.
Yeah.
It does not envy. It does not boast. It is not proud. It's not rude. It's not self-seeking. It's not easily angered. It keeps no record of wrong. Love does not delight in evil, but rejoices in the truth. It always protects, always trusts, always hopes. Right? So once we begin to look at our child in love and start to practice 1 Corinthians 13 with that child, we'll see a completely different relationship. Look for the good in your children, not the bad. Look for your good in people, not just the bad. Everybody have a modicum of good in them. Right? Let us begin to look and treat each other with love. That is what the scripture says we must. That's the only thing we must owe somebody. Right?
Debt of love.
Love.
A debt of love.
Right? That's what we must owe. We need to pay that debt.
Yeah.
Let us love each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Wow. Well said, Mr. Cotterell. Well said. Guys, remember to subscribe. Please share this podcast with somebody. Please, don't keep it to yourself. It would not be nice if you do that. So share it with somebody and like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. I want to tell Derrick, thank you so much for joining me this evening and for just sharing the wealth of wisdom that you did. I'm definitely going to watch it again, and I'm surely going to be sending it to a couple of men that I know for sure have some challenges, and probably that, just that word that you just said would have given them hope.
Yes. Well, to God be the glory.
Yeah, hope. So family, thank you for joining. Remember, as I said, like, subscribe, share, click the notification bell. And remember, you can go to my website, SimoneMignot.com, if you want coaching and you're struggling with clarity. Please feel free to hook me up, SimoneMignot.com. We can do a consultation session. I can see where you are and we can go on the journey together. We are coming to the end of this season, and I want July to be about you. So for the month of July, I'm just going to be talking about a conversation that you want. So more than just a topic, but something that you might be struggling with. I want you to DM that to me so that I can discuss it in July on the Blue Coach. It's going to be me alone, but it's going to be me and you, and we can discuss the issues that you might be having. DM Monique. Send her a message, or you can send me a message if you're having a problem with the pants and you want we discuss the pants. We discuss the pants. You understand? Don't feel like there's a foolishness we talk about. No, I'm not have to call your name. I can just discuss whatever it is. Ask any question that you might have, and we lean on the wisdom of the Holy Spirit to help us to talk about it. I'm going to invite you to feel free to DM me for anything, any questions that you might have. Even if you don't want to share anything, you can DM me any questions that you might have. I'm coming up to a little pause. So in August, we're not going to be live on the Blue Coach. We're going to be taking a break because we have to go back to Jesus so we can anchor ourselves, and understand where he wants us to go. And then I'm going to come back with season 3. Yes, season 3, and we're going to start it again, but this time we're going to go into another direction and other conversations, because what we love to do here on the Blue Coach is to empower you to be the better version of yourself. The aim is not to be better, it's to be better. So that's where we're going, and that's what we're going to do. So guys, my son team this evening, though, sound like me save, don't it? Me say, Mr. Cotterell put up something for me, him and him wife. Lord have mercy, but yes, it's still same. All right, so next week, Mr. Mignot on the Blue Coach, God's willing, Father God. Oh, yes, man, you can't miss next week. I have to be a very, very, very decent. You think me decent yet? Me can't have a talk loud next week. So you don't want to miss that conversation. I'll see you next week, guys. Thank you. Take care. Ta-ta.
Hi, my name is Simone Mignot, and I am a personal and business coach. I help individuals with their personal growth and development while gaining clarity and direction. My approach is focused, God-centered, and very intentional. It's not a quick fix. So if you feel stagnant and you need clarity, please feel free to visit my website, SimoneMignot.com.
To see the kingdom of truth. Sometimes in life you feel defeated, but it's not over. Hold on, don't give in. You're passing through your testing season. Where is your faith? You gotta win. You gotta win. Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Gonna win.
That you understand that you need coaching to be able to live your best life. And so you own that. My coaching for my life so that I can be the best version of myself.